Okay, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I want to thank you for joining us here with this special announcement video I'm going to do. This is CC Revolution with XtraBYtes, and we got a lot of things to talk about. I'm going to talk about them as quickly as I can to get through this, so I can get this all edited and out to you all in appropriate time, so we can hit our deadline of 23:59:59 GMT on, well, what would that be? That's April 27th, 2017. So this is the beginning of the foundation of XtraBYtes. A lot of stuff's happened over the last couple of weeks, and I'm just going to touch on some of that stuff. But what I wanted to do first of all, as I mentioned in my other video, I wanted to really kind of tell the story of how I got involved here. So, and just so you know, all this stuff I'm doing here, I got some notes, but this is all coming off the cuff here. So this has come right out of my head, right to you guys, and to let you know what the realities are around our little company. So, first of all, this whole thing truly is it really is a divine intervention, and you'll understand that better as I go on, because there's some really amazing things that have actually occurred here. You know, as you may know, I've been in marketing for over 20 years now, and even though I heard about Bitcoin, boy, I guess it was back in 2010. I didn't listen like everybody else. You know, I just figured, you know, it's just another token. You know, but that's history now. And then I heard about it again when the first big peak happened there 3 years ago, and but about 18 months ago, in fact, no, it was about 2 years ago, is when I first got into the crypto world, and I've been learning ever since, and I've done very well. And I'm telling you all this because I want you to understand what happened when I first came into this company. I actually, as of last year. Last summer, I was with a fairly considerable amount. I'm not going to give any numbers here, but I was with a fairly considerable amount of Bitcoin through my successes. And this was last summer. And as you all know, we were sitting in the ballpark of about $500–600 US at the time. And I had jumped into a few different locations, altcoins, and really wasn't paying attention to the fact that maybe I'd be better sitting in Bitcoin. Not paying attention at all. And what happened is all that little pot of Bitcoin that I had started dwindling away as Bitcoin climbed up to the peak that we hit there at January 1st. And I just kept on holding on to the altcoins, thinking, oh, it's going to turn around sooner or later, because it always did. Well, you know what? It didn't. And so there I was. My account was getting lower and lower. I'm sitting in altcoins. Bitcoin's going the other direction. You know, it would have been a completely different story had I jumped out of the altcoins and into Bitcoin back last summer and just sat there and waited, you know. But that didn't happen. So anyway, long story short, I'm sitting in c-cex one day, and I've already mentioned this on the other video, but I'm sitting there watching the troll box, and I was actually pushing another coin. It was up for removal, and so I'd been posting and, you know, letting people know it's a good coin and all this kind of thing. But anyway, suddenly I saw this big pitch coming through there about BitMox, and I jumped in. I saw the activity. It was in a little bit of a frenzy. I didn't click on the website. Had I clicked on the website, we would not be here today, because I put my order in quickly, and at that point I said, okay, so what's this company all about? A little bit backwards, but like I said, it was a frenzy. And I clicked on the website, and I'm like, oh, this is not good. I just lost my money. It was a ugly face, a sketch drawing kind of thing with a guy's face with his jaw half ripped off and like blood or something hanging out of it. And I'm like, oh, this is not good. And so there goes my Bitcoin, right? And anyway, so I thought, okay, well, there's lots of activity here. I'm going to just put my bid in here at 10, and maybe it'll hit it, and I'll walk away, and, you know, that'll be fine. And but that didn't happen. It come up to about 6 or 7, if I remember right, and it started going back down. So a few hours later, or a day later, whatever it was, I decided, okay, let's try and put the bid in at 2, because it was still trading at 2 at that point. And but there was others in front of me, and so people were getting out at 2, and then that didn't happen either. And I think a couple of days later, I decided, well, I better just go back into 1 and try and get my money back. And there it sat. And there was some activity, and you know, there wasn't a whole ton, like there was millions in front of me, but there wasn't a whole ton of coins in front of me at once. So I sat there and waited. And I don't know, about 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. Anyway, slowly it just dwindled away to nothing. And I'm on the phone one day with my buddy, and this is one of my partners who we do business. We do a lot of business together over the years. And I'm like, you know, I got to go in and try and do something. I want to get that money back, that Bitcoin back. And I think I'm going to go into the troll box and try and get some activity going. I just try and get my money back. And we're having this discussion, and I'm like to myself, and I'm saying to him as well, you know, I don't feel good about that, though. This is just not me. You know, I'm not like that. And to ad lib here, you know, there's all kinds of stuff in the troll boxes. And I can tell you this, okay? I'm an honest guy. I don't steal. I've never ripped off anybody in my life. I've never intentionally misled anybody in my life. I've stolen one thing in my life. I don't know how old I was, maybe 8 or 9 or 10 years old or something like that. And I was walking through the grocery store, and I took a grape, if you can imagine, a grape off the produce shelf, and I washed it off a little bit with my hand, and I stuck it in my mouth, and I felt bad about that, you know, if you can imagine. But that's me, okay? So, no, I am not a thief. Zoltan Borzalim is not a thief. We are here, and I'm going to tell you some little stories about him as well here quickly. We are here, as I say, out of divine intervention. So anyway, I'm talking to my buddy, and I'm like, you know what? I just can't do that. What am I going to do? So I thought about it for a couple of days, and that's when I did the search for, I forget exactly what I put into Google, but anyway, I found this post. Where is it here? Let me pull this up. This one? No. That's later. This one. Okay. I found this post right here. All right? So I'm not going to bother reading. That'll just burn up time. And I replied to it. And if I'll scroll down here, because this, and as a matter of fact, this is on page 6 of our forum. If anybody wants to come in here and read this, this is a really good review of what happened here. Okay? Talks about me, talks about Zoltan. Borzalim, sorry. His name is Zoltan. And Borzalim is his username. But here are the first few messages I sent to him directly, and here's his replies to me directly. You guys can see all the history right here. And this is the absolute truth. I had no reason to come into Bitcoin Talk and create an account. All right? I was not actively, you know, coming in here and talking about different coins and developing coins. No, I'm a marketing guy. Okay? So I had no reason. I was in here reading, and I was investigating coins and doing all that kind of stuff, but I wasn't participating. And so when I got to the point of talking to my buddy saying I got to figure out something to do here, and I decided to come looking, that's when I found this. That's when I said, okay, I need to make an account. And I see the whole cryptocurrency industry as a revolution in finance, so that's how I chose that name, Cryptocurrency Revolution. And anyway, so I sent him an email. Or a PM or whatever it is here, whatever I did. It's all right there. And so we got going back and forth. And so, Borzalim, who's this guy? Well, you all know he's a 25-year programmer, okay? But he sent me a little mini bio earlier today. So let's pull this up. Now, this is his native writing, okay? So I have to go through and I have to straighten all this out so everybody can read it and understand it properly. So he says he wrote his first operating system, maybe 1985 or 86, to his first computer, a Commodore Plus/4. Yes, I wrote an operating system. Okay, some years later, he won third prize in a nationwide competition for an application in software development, and his old best friend is Peter Zor, who worked for McAfee in the security department, and he said that we talked a lot in the computer and internet security, and he shared this story with me before. I don't really understand this. I would have to ask him about this, but anyway, he wants to experience and develop, or he wants more experience and develop whatever he's trying to say here. But he loves cryptography, software development, and happy if he's possible to work on anything new to change the world. Okay, so this is a little mini bio about this guy. Now, something else about this man, and this again goes back to the divine intervention. I personally have a slight disability. Okay, I've had some issues on one of my legs. I've had some operations in my life, and it's if I stand on my legs, on my feet too long, I get a sore leg. If I go on long hikes, I can do it. It's bothersome. You know, that's just the way it is. I've learned to live with it. But over time, throughout my life, these surgeries were when I was a kid. But anyway, I've figured out that I have to find ways to make money on my own. And this is, whether it be my entrepreneurial spirit or whatever the case may be, that's the direction I went. And so, as I say, for over 20 years now, I've been doing marketing. In fact, as a kid, I was, getting into the lemonade stands and selling worms and whatever I could do to make my own money. I always did that. Okay, and so that's really how my career went into this, and I've done very well for myself over time, working from home. I've had my own traditional business as well, and anyway, so that's kind of my story there in a quick nutshell about my entrepreneurial side. But and as far as the disability goes, that's why I've been committed to this. I've been committed to helping people make money. And the first time I had big success and other people had big success along with me, the feeling I got inside when I'm on the phone talking to my friends and associates that we've been working together for quite some time at that point, and they're telling me, Dave, thank you so much for helping me, involving me, and all these great praises, and it made me feel so good inside. And that locked me in to this industry of helping people make money in various ways, and then the progression for me has gone through into this new industry of cryptocurrency. So here we are. And I'm blessed with an opportunity that I fell into a scam, and another guy fell into that same scam, and now this man also has a disability. And this is going to help you all understand why he doesn't get into the communication side of things. Zoltan is almost 100% deaf. If he does not hear, if he doesn't have his hearing aid in, he can't really hear. Okay, he's also not native English, and so if you can imagine how difficult it's been for him to learn English over the years, to speak English, is very difficult. So he and I haven't actually talked on the phone. He explained that to me in the beginning, okay, and basically I completely sympathize with him. My father was also deaf, and so I've lived with this for my whole life. Okay, so this is all the whole story here that's coming together where I see this divine intervention, because now here's this guy who's got these 25 years programming, going back even further to 1985. This is 32 years ago. So he's just a kid, right? And he's programming his first computer. And 7 years in cryptology. Now there's a lot of people in our forum that have done some background research on him, and they see that he's legit. He's been talking about proof of signature for a few years now. Okay? So him and I met, and it goes back to answers for that question earlier, but I pulled this up earlier so that I could show you guys. Okay, February 20th, I sent him the invitation. Hi Dave, hi Zoltan, this is Dave from Bitcoin Talk. Hello, I think Skype will be fine. He already told me that he had a hearing disability. Okay, Skype will be fine because we can communicate directly. Speaking is not required, I don't think, and we never have spoken. We haven't needed to. Okay. So he shared his details. Hi, good morning. What's your time zone? And it continued on. Okay, so that's when we first met, and we have since developed a very, very solid, strong, and compatible working relationship, and it's working out very well. And so in time, we are now here at this point when we have this very exciting organic growth of a coin, where it was not just me and him who got scammed. It was me and him and all the rest of you, whoever's still involved here that was involved in that ICO, you know who you are. I believe a lot of people jumped out when they had the chance. Maybe they've come back in again. I don't know. But anyway, this is the deal. And so here we have this guy who has dedicated his whole life to what was passionate for him and what worked for him. Okay? As a person with a disability, I completely understand that because I've done the same thing. And so here we are. We meet on this forum, and we form this alliance, and we continue on. So that's where we're at as far as that goes. Now, some updates, and there's going to be a few. Okay, so first of all, the websites are being updated. This is the original one. I did this just quickly when we found out we could take over XBY officially from c-cex, we immediately went out and bought this domain, and we put something up. But most of our work has been done in the forum. That's where we've been doing all the communicating. But because of this, we have a new domain that's coming together, and this is actually by the guy that developed the Litecoin logo. So he's working on this for us now. We've got a community that's growing very strong. So this is quite likely going to be our official website. It's not official yet, but it's looking like it's going to be. We got a big community over here that's coming together in Slack. Okay, lots of talking going on in here. Lots of great people. We got wallets being designed over here. We got logos and websites being designed in here, and then this is our general chat. Okay, and what we're doing on top of this is we're creating a group over here in GitHub where we're going to bring together all the collaborators so we can all contribute. And the idea here, and this is Zoltan's idea. Okay, I'm not going to take credit for this. This is Zoltan's idea, and what it is that we have his invention here of proof of signature, but there's more to it than that. And this is where the exciting announcements come. Okay, one of the things that's going to be happening here is that we are creating a community corporation. Okay, this entire thing is not just about a coin. This is about a big corporation. And it's not going to be a regular corporation. It's going to be owned by you and me and Zoltan and everybody else who's a part of this are all going to be owners in this corporation. All the contributors are also going to be owners. Anybody who owns XBY is going to be an owner in this corporation. Okay? And his vision is to build the largest decentralized super system. Okay, we were talking the other day with one of the people on Slack, asking if this is going to be like a decentralized supercomputer, and essentially that is what we're doing here. Okay, so a decentralized super system, and this is going to be thrown back to the community to come up with a proper name eventually, but that's the idea, a decentralized super system. And I say that because basically we're going to start out with storage. That's the first thing. Okay, that's what we're going to start with, but after that, anything and everything that we can add to XtraBYtes as a type of service or product that's available through the blockchain, that's going to become available through XtraBYtes. Okay, and his vision, his hope, is to become the next Google or Facebook sized company or larger, and we believe it's possible because we are starting a community organization, and we had this conversation last night with the developers, and they were wondering why we couldn't switch over to the XtraBYtes.tech. And I said, you know what, that's a good domain, but that's got to be where the technology side of it's going to be, because we're keeping the XtraBYtes.club, because this whole thing, we would not be here right now if not for all of the people who've come along with us and believed in us as we tried to get things, tried to get the coin pulled from the ashes. A lot of people have supported us and been there for us. And whether that was from belief in us or belief in what we were saying, or the fact that they had their investment there as well, that's irrelevant. Okay, that doesn't matter to me. The point is that everybody has been there, and everybody stepped up to the plate at various times and protected us, protected this company, protected this coin. This is a community, and it will continue to be a community, and we're inviting everybody in the world who wants to become part of this to become part of XtraBYtes. That's what it's all about. Okay? So we're going to get into more details about that. That's just a basic announcement. Community Corporation is coming. Okay? We will get into better details later. Okay, so moving on. Exchanges. Yes, we are going to be putting an application into Bittrex. We are not going to do that, though, until we have the statics up and running. That is very important. Okay, we don't want to go to them and say, you know, like we're doing now, we're trying to get it all put together, and you know, we'll have it going soon. Well, we're going to do that properly, and I'm getting to the announcement. Don't worry. And then later, Polo. We want to get on Polo as well. Okay, and now both of these exchanges are high-end exchanges. We all know that, and they both like unique coins, and they both like community-driven coins, and they both like high-volume coins. And I think that we match all three of that stuff, but we're not ready yet. We will be soon, though. Okay? So, to the big announcement. Okay. As of right now, we could start with the statics. Okay? We could start the registration process. It is ready. However, here's the problem. We did not expect to see such a big price already. That's awesome, what's happening with the price of this coin. Okay? And every time I post something, I'm not posting stuff to make a pump and dump or anything like that. Okay? I see this price going way, way down the road, and I'm not going to give any numbers. Okay? This is just the beginning. All right? But we didn't really expect this kind of reaction from the community, so that's a hats off to all of you, because you're realizing there's something happening here. You're realizing there's something special, and probably on the other side of it, the industry is dying for something different. Okay? And we're delivering that. So that's a problem. The price is a problem because 1 million XBY to get a static is now pretty expensive. Okay? And a few days ago, and if you think back, I didn't really say a whole lot, but one of the members said, is it a problem if we have 500,000 coins instead of 1 million? Is that a technical problem? I didn't say anything because Zoltan was sleeping at the time, and I wanted to get a hold of him first and have a discussion about it. And so here's what's going to happen. First of all, it's a community, and we're listening, obviously. We're not going to make all the decisions ourselves. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a poll, and that will be available. I'm setting it up after I get finished with this, okay? So it's there now, if I can say it like that. There's a poll, and we're going to ask the community to choose. And we're going to ask you to spread this out to anybody who might be interested in becoming part of this community corporation as well. Okay? And the poll is going to be active for 48 hours. That's going to give us all weekend until Saturday night, which then gives everybody all day Sunday to set up their static if they want. And so here's your choices on the poll. Okay? Oh, sorry, let me back up a little bit. The static system is the backbone of the system. Okay? We wanted to have between 200 and 300 statics somewhere in there. And we probably could get there still. But we want to make it fair, and the more we have, the better. Okay? So we want to have at least 300 now. And last time I checked, we were at about 100 with with 1 million coins each. So we can go beyond 300 probably, maybe more. Okay? Very important to have all this stuff. So the choices are going to be 1 million, 500,000, or 250,000 coins in order to have a static. Okay? Now, here's something that you have to understand. We want this to be an elite status as an individual. And the reason for that is because we don't want dumpers to be coming in and buying a static, setting it up, and then pulling out at their first chance. Because this is a long-term vision here. Okay, so we want some long-term vision people who've got the ability to say, I can sit on that money for a few years and leave it there. Because it's going to become an income-producing asset. So we don't want people coming in and setting up a static with their last few bitcoins that they have and have to pull them out again a few days later. That's silly. Okay, we want to create a stable system. That's very important. So keep that in mind when you're all voting. Okay? So that's the poll. That's the news. So once we have this figured out, then Zoltan will then go in and he's going to switch that number from 1 million, if it's chosen to be different, to whatever it is that you want as a community. Okay? Majority rules. So whatever is the highest amount voted for, that's what's going to win. So if everybody, if 51% say 500,000, well, obviously it's going to be 500,000 because that's the majority. All right? If we have 40% that say 500,000 and 10% say 250 well, those are bad numbers. Sorry. If 40% say 500,000 and 30% say 250 and 30% say 1 million, you get the idea. Okay? So whatever the majority is, that's what we're going to go with. That's fair. It's a collective system. It's a collective company. It's a collective coin. and this industry is dying for something like this. Okay? And in closing, you know, anybody who's in the troll boxes and listening to these guys, I did a post yesterday. It's up to you. If you want to sell and you want to play the game of trying to, you know, make a little bit of extra, more power to you. Okay? But just understand that at one point, this coin could take off and not turn around and look back. Okay? And I've said this also. If this system was being set up and it didn't come from an ICO scam that we all got caught up in, it wouldn't be starting at 1 Satoshi. So where's the true floor? Well, we've seen 2 floors so far. We've seen 40. Right now we're seeing about 80. I don't believe those are the true floors. I think people are very nervous right now. They don't understand fully what's happening here, and for good reason, because we haven't been able to release everything yet, but it's coming. Okay? So, the poll is open, and it will close 48 hours later, so that means Saturday night, 23:59 GMT, we're going to close the poll, and at that point, we'll know what it's going to be. Zoltan will go in and switch it to whatever the number is, and then he's going to push the new code and the new wallet, and then we'll be able to go in and people will be able to start registering. You have the instructions there. The only difference is going to be the amount of coins if it changes. Okay? So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for your time, and thank you for being part of XtraBYtes. Have an awesome day, night, morning, wherever you're at. Okay? Bye for now.